Team Empire's turn to ban. Vega Squadron's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Team Empire's turn to ban. Vega Squadron's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining.
All right, hey guys, welcome back to the Beyond the Summit coverage of the TI6 EU Regional Qualifiers. I'm Annie, that's Sayori, and we're here to bring you another best of one here, and it's going to be Vega Squadron versus Team Empire. Definitely interesting. Now, we've seen a lot of interesting drafts, but this one is shaping up to be pretty awesome here. We have got an Elder Titan first pick, picked up by Vega, and Beastmaster, Earth Spirit. This is just meta heroes galore.
Yeah, pretty much. Elder Titan, he's kind of the new kid on the block. That's coming out of the NA region, our home turf. Those guys really showing us that Elder Titan is a long forgotten about hero that definitely still has some, I guess more than some prowess in this meta. I mean, he is so good, especially against Terrorblade. We've seen so many games now where Terrorblade is just taken over. He hits that timing push in that 15 to 20 minute window where he is just retardedly good. I mean, it is actually insane how strong he is in that window. Like, you hit this peak where you have a couple of core items, your metamorphosis is maxed out, you're almost level 11, and like your ability to siege high ground is just insane. I mean, if you saw any of those NA finals games, I mean, they were completely back and forth in that kind of Terrorblade manner, where it's like, oh, you get Terrorblade, okay, great, yeah, you can have our barracks. All right, next game we get the Terrorblade, same thing the other way. Elder Titan, one of the best heroes to deal with that natty order, cuts right through all that pesky armor.
Yeah, and it's really good in these best of ones because all you need to do is have one triumphant showing. You don't have to have a repeat performance. Just get done the first time. We saw in Team Secrets runs, every time it was available, Puppy would pick it up first, and he could kill at level 1, level 2, always rotating, always keeping your eyes on everything. And now Vega Squadron, they're looking to be pretty mobile here. They've already picked up the Bat Rider. Now, do you think we see mid-bat or off-lane?
Good question, and still open-ended. It really depends on what the matchup looks like and how they want to run it. I think probably more likely to be in the off-lane. I'll be honest, I haven't been paying super close attention to Vega. There's the only person I know that is pretty comfortable running Bat Rider mid is S4. A couple teams do it occasionally, but off-lane Bat is still, I think, pretty standard. Unless they do something really weird with an aggro try, but with an Elder Titan, I think that is pretty unlikely. I'll be curious to see what build they go for with the Bat, though. We've seen a lot of change in Bat Rider builds. It used to be either Tranquils or Bottle right into Blink Dagger, and now we're seeing some deviation. Yeah, Drum more frequently, just going for more combative kind of sustainability based items. Some Bat Riders even skipping Lasso at level 6 and just leveling up the Firefly Sticky Napalm and playing it that way with base movement speed, and then transitioning into the Blink for more of a mid-game build. So a lot of flexibility with this hero, not the one-trick pony that he used to be. Empire, they're going to cover their bases here. Vengeful Spirit, one of the best supports to have against the Bat for pretty obvious reasons. You can stun him when he's flying away with your teammates, and also you can swap your teammates out, break that lasso, and keep them safe.
Yeah, I mean, Empire, they've got so much utility already. Now, what big old cores do they pair this with? Because you've got basically the ability to spoon feed your cores kills there with the Primal Roar holding everyone in place, with the Earth Spirit getting that silence, getting that stun, Venge with the positioning tools galore. So, position ones, are we looking at something kind of slow and steady, like a Sven that needs kind of early kills brought to him, or, a Tiny that can scale up really well late game?
You seem to really like Tiny.
I have seen a lot of Tinies, and they've been pretty successful.
Oh, okay. I mean, Tiny's not a bad hero. It's just sort of an odd niche pick that it seems like a comfort pick. Some teams really like Tiny and the way that he plays, and other teams just don't really go with that playstyle. I think it's less about Tiny being a good or a bad hero, and more about is it comfort zone for whichever team is in question.
10 seconds.
Do these teams play tiny? That is a good question. I don't know the answer to off the top of my head.
I mean, I know Ramses, he has a lot of comfort heroes here. His hero pool's pretty solid. He loves that gyrocopter getting going, and that is still available for him if he'd like to, and that does fight very, very early. That might be what they need to combat that Elder Titan.
Yeah, this Vega Squadron draft is just very well-rounded and open-ended. A great team fight with the Elder Titan, Witch Doctor, very versatile support, good for 5-man pushing, good for lane harass, and just decent team fight damage. Of course, you got Initiator in the Bat Rider, but it's a little open-ended if they want to make this kind of a more of a push-oriented lineup or go all in on the team fight. You know, they could grab like like Lycan, for example, is still in the pool, something that they could consider. Empire, sort of a similar vein, actually. Earth Spirit Venge, a very aggressive roaming duo. We talked about Beastmaster in that last match that we just saw with Fantastic Five and Team Escape. First pick just like this, and we saw just the Iron Talent first, sack the off lane, farm. And in that particular game, it did not work out so well. But now they'll grab the Invoker, so we're seeing Empire definitely have some pushing prowess.
Yeah, and I think with this Invoker, you gotta kind of hit a peak around that 20 to 30 minute mark, and I think the Juggernaut could be a really nice position one to go in and capitalize off this. He is a little bit safe, can be a little bit squishy, but I don't know if Vega have the tools to punish this. Now, Vega, if they run this mid-bat, I think a Faceless Void could be fantastic here. I've seen unbelievable stomps into Earth Splitters, combine that with the Chronosphere, and you've got so much damage.
Oh, well, I can almost guarantee it's the off-lane Bat Rider now.
Yeah.
Probably the mid-Alchemist here for Vega, off-lane Bat, and they'll look to pick up their safe laner, whatever that may be. Looking in the way of Aghanim Scepters, pretty decent upgrades for the Alchemist, actually. All three of those heroes have pretty good upgrades. I think Witch Doctor the highest priority, Bat, Elder Titan, interesting Ags upgrades, though not really core items. One little tidbit about the Elder Titan Ags upgrade, though, is it's the disarm effect that it adds. Goes through BKB. So that is an interesting kind of late game, hard to connect with, but it is a tool to deal with late game BKB carries if they ever get to that point.
Alright, so like we mentioned, Empire still looking for that one final ban coming out against them. They are taking their time on this one, figuring out what Empire want to run. I wouldn't be surprised to see a band like a Spectre, that very global presence that, sits in lane and can just jump into the team fight at a moment's notice.
I would agree on paper. I said the same thing at ESL Frankfurt, and PyCat laughed at me and said that hero is not playable. Spectre is just not in the meta right now. She went full throttle to full zero. It seemed almost overnight. I think she's still playable against Tinker. There are very specific counters where Spectre is really good. But I think it's just like a general, this is a pretty good carry that synergizes well with us. She just doesn't provide enough early. She did take a couple of nerfs in this patch that changed all the coefficients, but I forget exactly what it was that they changed. It seemed pretty minor on paper, but it was enough to just push her over the threshold compared to all these other carries that, like a Juggernaut, like you were talking about, who offers a lot early on, where Spec, even if you go for that earn into diffusal, build design for early fighting, she still isn't really that great early on. So
now, for early fighting, I'm surprised we haven't seen any love for the gyrocopter. Both teams, it seemed like they could have gotten some use out of it, and I know it's one of Ramses' comfort heroes, so we'll see if Empire want to grab that.
I could see it here. I think Gyro could be good. Nice synergy with the Alchemist, a lot of AoE damage. Yeah, they already have pretty good team fight, you're right. The Gyro would be just a nice, well-rounded physical damage ability. Oh, yeah, I see it. Bristleback, okay.
I like this a lot. I think, we've got some creative lanes coming out. Is this going to be position 4 Bat and off-lane Bristle? Or position 4 Out?
Well, they've got a lot of ways that they can do it. It really depends on who they're going to prioritize the farm. They could put Bat Rider safe lane and off lane the Bristleback and set up some dual lanes, secure the early farm for the Bat, let him kind of dominate there, and have the Bristle Witch Doctor do pretty well in the off lane. And they could juxtapose it, where Bat Rider can use that hard camp. He can find his farm even if he gets zoned out in lane. And of course, Bristleback will get all of his farm in the safe lane. I think some of it will depend on this last pick. Maybe they have something creative in mind. Again, with Aghanim Scepters, the Bristle Ags is interesting. Problem with it for Bristleback is the timing in which you farm it. He's a hero that almost always wants to go Vanguard first. Usually S and Y is a pretty good follow-up item after that for Bristle. And if you just go right for the Aghanims...
So, Team Empire, their big damage dealers so far, Vengeful Spirit, Invoker, they're looking for position 1. Drowstrat?
Could be. I don't know if it's very all-in-ish. And
in best of ones, you kind of have to just full throttle it.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly could. I don't think that they will, but it is an option. The reason I don't think they will is because this is just a sort of a hard team to break high ground against. Alchemist, Witch Doctor, Bat Rider, Elder Titan, all pretty darn good at defending high ground. Elder Titan, any kind of tight corridor, and they take the Void. So you did mention the Void. So safe lane Void, mid Invoker, and off lane Beastmaster. Pretty standard stuff for Empire, as it turns out. This is an obvious synergy with the Void and Invoker, not just in the team fights, but also in the lane. It's going to be a way for them to set up kills. Basically, as soon as Void hits 6, you drop a Chrono, connect with the Sunstrike, somebody's getting a kill. So either your Scandal Invoker is getting some extra kills around the map without having to leave the lane, or that Faceless Void is going to have a damn good start. Either way, it's a pretty well-rounded draft for Empire. I like it.
Yeah, I definitely like it. I think Vega is going to be a little bit more boom or bust. Can the Alchemist get a lot of farm going for himself? Can he spiral up? Can the Bat Rider find levels? Can the Elder Titan find early ganks? So Vega's a little bit more conditional, whereas Empire, I think, are just going to, steady sailing.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I would agree. The ease of execution advantage is in favor of Empire. I mean, they do have the Chrono, I guess, is always a question mark. The ability to either win or throw the game in the palm of your hand. But generally speaking, it's pretty straightforward what they want to do. Ramses is going to farm, he's going to initiate, and then they're going to dump all that follow-up damage into the Chrono. For Vega, well, they need to make sure they get farm on the Bat Rider, they need to make sure the Bristleback doesn't fall far behind, but of course you need to make sure that Alchemist is getting his priority. And I think Vega is like slightly greedier in that sense, where could run into this scenario where if they lose a couple of their early towers, their farming area is limited. Maybe Alk will be able to find all of his farm, but then everyone else is really going to suffer, or vice versa. You know, Bat Rider finds his farm, but then Alk doesn't have any stacks in the jungle. But if this Vega lineup does have a good start in the lanes, they could just kind of run them down in that mid game, so to speak. I mean, you're always fighting into the Chrono, but we've seen what happens when an Alk gets a good start and doesn't let up. You know, there's always that potential for the Alk to just ball out of control in the lane.
I mean, Alk is up against an Invoker here, not just any Invoker. We've got a Scandal Invoker, and he likes to fight early. He already picks up that point in the Sunstrike, no surprise. But do you think Alchemist is going to get punished a lot? Because again, they do have that roaming Earth Sphere going to come in, and Miposhka, he loves to make early action happen.
It's going to be a tough out game, no doubt. Always a lot of pressure on these roaming Earth Spirits to get something done, but he's gone with a pretty standard build here, just Orb of Venom, and Alk is super vulnerable pre-level 6. It kind of reminds me of like the old Storm Spirit. You know, it's once he hits level 6, okay, we're not even going to bother trying to gank him, but 4-6, you better pick on him because you need to slow down that momentum somewhere. And it's the same window. Before that Chemical Rage is online, you need to try to find those kills. Though it's not the end-all be-all. We have definitely seen games where teams successfully shut down an Alk, but the opportunity cost as well. Now we have 3 heroes mid, and we lost our other 2 lanes. So, you know, a Bat Rider, a Bristleback, they could definitely kind of farm through that and then make space for the Alchemist. So a lot of options here. I don't think this is a clear-out draft either way. This is a matchup to me that is definitely going to come down to execution, and this laning phase definitely going to be quite telling. Vega's starting with a dual off lane here. They're going to do a 2-1-2 with the Elder Titan and the Bat Rider in the off lane. So they'll secure a farm for no one on the Bristleback.
Yeah, Bristleback is going to be having a little bit of an easy time here, kind of sitting up there and not being contested that heavily as Beastmaster, again, has picked up the talent, is opting to farm up the jungle. Now, Bristleback is not necessarily the most snowball hero in the game, but an early start for him means early Vanguard, means early survivability, and Vega can start running at you before you're able to deal with it. You're
absolutely right. I think letting Bristleback free farm can definitely be a scary notion. This is a hero that has a really odd power curve, especially with the change to Abyssal Blade. Definitely a buff to him, a hero that wants to buy Vanguard anyway, and not every game is a Crimson Guard game, and now just having an easy late game transition into a big disable damage dealing item, you're in pretty good shape. I think just a straight up Vanguard S and Y kind of build would do Bristleback really well this game. If you can get those 2 items with power treads, you know, by like 15, but in that like 15 to 20 minute window, you're really scary. You move fast, you've got a maim so people can't get away from you, you've got minus armor, just the whole kit and caboodle. You know, there's a long window where he can really take over the game.
Now, Invoker in this mid lane actually having some trouble with the CS, and he's not CSing perfectly now with the Alchemist going for that bounty rune. Will get a little bit of time to himself, but Bristleback actually getting so much out of that free farm. Over here, Batrider is going to have to Firefly up to that top and solo, looking for the stomp, looking for at least the Spirit scouting him out, but won't be able to find any kills, so no first blood fallen just yet.
Yeah, still Batrider making some space here. Put the Beastmaster in the jungle. He's gone from this level 1 Iron Talon just like we saw in the last matchup. Greedy stuff coming out from Empire. This puts a lot of pressure on Afterlife to come out of the jungle and really make something happen. Oh, I'm getting a little lag ski here. Okay,
too.
Glad it's not. Where it's like, well, shit.
Alright, we are back on through. Hopefully this is going to go a little bit better for us now.
Do I get stuff if I make these predictions? Like, should I
do.
start predicting things
You
and get
should.
compendium points?
The only reason I'm not is because I don't have time to actually read what they say. Otherwise I'd pick up some hot stats. You can get those battle points going for yourself.
Wow, okay. I'll have to chat up Nahaz, get all the latest.
The latest and greatest, man. He's I think he went back to the hotel, so I have to wait for tomorrow.
Damn it, Nahaz! You had one job! Coach me through the statistics of Dota 2.
Your personal stats, man, so you can win imaginary points in a video game.
That accurately sums up Nahaz's job quite well, I think. Kappa, no Kappa.
Alright, so mid lane, Alchemist getting a lot done. Invoker, again, falling a little bit behind in terms of CS, and with FN putting those 2 points in Greevil's Greed, his net worth is going to be pretty almighty here at only 4 minutes in.
Yeah, and we missed it. I wonder what happened at the 4-minute runes.
It did pretty even split.
Did the Alka get the bounty? That's what
Yes,
matters.
Alka
He
got
did.
bounty.
Okay, so he didn't get the 2-minute bounty, but he did get the 4. So he's a 50-50 spread right now, not bad. That is one of the aspects of the Alchemist that you always have to keep in mind, man. That's an angry observer there.
Starladder TV needs to calm
I
down.
don't know what's going on over there. Look out. But you always have to remember that RNG factor with Alk. If he gets like the 5 first bounty runes, like all of them up to 10 minutes, it really propels his farm a lot. And he's one of those heroes that the faster you get the armlet, the faster you get the radiance, the faster you get the other items, and that whole exponential growth snowball really occurs. But if you can successfully stop him from getting all of the bounty runes, or he just gets really bad luck and guesses the wrong way 3 or 4 times in a row, it really hurts his momentum, especially in those early levels. So 1-1, not too bad, but we'll have to keep tabs to see how the RNG continues for FN.
Big smoke here. They're looking for Alk here. He's only level 5. If they can catch him with his pants down, no chemical rage, maybe they can get something going.
Yeah, good time to try and find a kill. Beastmaster just hit level 6. This is what we talked about. You got to strike quick right onto FN. Sunstrike comes out. Bada boom, bada bing. This should be a first blood. Maposhka draws it. But now the cast come bouncing around, and yeah, they're just going to let him go. That is like to a T what Afterlife has to do this game. Get a fast level 6, smoke up right away. That is so hard for Vega to react against because you just don't know the timing when he's off the map like that.
Yeah, and you know, Afterlife did get a very, very fast 6 and find something off of it. Definitely worthwhile, but the Beastmaster, rather, the Bristleback is still farming up very well. Already has those arcane boots, so definitely prioritizing having that mana to spend up and can disassemble it later if need be. But he's top of the last hit chart in terms of net worth. He's soaring at the top of that chart as well.
Yeah, no, he's looking good. I mean, it's still scary. It's a risk to let him farm like that, but oh god, they walk into FN again. If they find back-to-back kills on the Alk, this is devastating for FN. Sweet Jiminy Crickets, Annie. This Alk is in big trouble.
Absolutely. That is not good whatsoever, and his levels have been severely slowed down. We see Invoker picking up 6.5, but Alk still hasn't found that chemical rage. Like you mentioned, just getting punished back to back, very little time on the map.
And he didn't even get the bounty rune. To add insult to injury, Maposhka picked it up before he could snag it. So
no.
This is really, all of a sudden, Vega are in huge trouble. So that's the thing, you let the Bristleback free farm, that's fine as long as you're shutting down the other lanes. Batrider he's doing okay, he's almost level 6, but he's by no means balling out of control. And the Alchemist, as we've seen now, yeah, he is in Strug City. He's almost level 6, but his farm is nowhere close to where he would expect to be at this stage of the game. All of a sudden, that Bristleback looks a lot more manageable. Even Scandal, I mean, level 7, he's well on his way to his Hand of Midas. He's a pretty happy Invoker, all things considered.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about Ramses here. Position 1 Void is not super meta. We're seeing it more and more as, there is just a little more viability placed on it, but he's sitting back, he's got those dreads, he's got that shield, and about 1,000 gold. What does he rush here? Do we go Diffusal, or Mask of Madness, or Flads? Like, what do you even do for the safe lane Void that's way different from offlane?
Yeah, he's got a lot of options here. I think that the Manta Diffusal build definitely has some merit to it. Not an obvious game for that. I mean, draining the mana of Alchemist and Bristleback is so-so. Looks like he's going to go into a Vanguard, so probably just that Vanguard Radiant style, the dreaded Waga build. It's oh so much fun to watch, but it's really good. I mean, it's super well rounded. It gives you a little bit of everything: great survivability, great farming tools with the Radiance, and just lets you scale well into the mid game.
Absolutely. Now, kill score 2-0, like we were talking about here. Overall gold is still very close. Again, it's pre-10 minutes. You can't determine a whole lot, but the XP actually quite heavily in favor of Empire. Looking at overall levels, you've still got all the supports no level 6, but Radiant, they're just getting a little bit closer there. Vengeful Spirit needs about half a wave more. Earth Spirit, similar story.
Yeah, a lot of that comes from the Beastmaster. Just having a dedicated jungler opens up a lot more efficiency in your lanes. You've got 2 solo laners, they're getting more XP, and you've got somebody soaking up all of that yummy XP just hanging out in the jungle. So, not a big surprise there. The Vanguard is up on the Bristleback, so he can start moving around a little bit. Arcane Vanguard at 8 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty good. But the same token, Empire all grouped up in the bottom lane. They'll force out a glyph. They put a lot of pressure on this tower. There's a Chronosphere ready and waiting. Mag definitely needs to be cautious. He is level 6, but no point in lasso. Definitely going for that more farm-oriented bat, probably a drum first like we were talking about. And no deny, Beastmaster gets credit for the kill.
Now, Mag has opted to go level 7, still no lasso. We saw him now pick it up. There we go, holding on to that skill point. But for level 6, he didn't go for it right away, anticipating a little bit more time in lane without a lot of pressure. He kind of wishes he had it there. He could have gone in, maybe gotten some sort of initiation near the tower. But either way, it's going to be Alchemist finally picking up that armlet, so a little more survivability on top of his Chemical Rage. And, Void now has that Vanguard, so more survivability coming out. It's just going to be kind of a slow-paced game. I don't think there's a whole lot of kill potential on either side.
Yeah, both sides definitely pretty happy farming, though I think the onus will be on Empire to turn up the aggression a little bit more and make this a slightly more high-octane game once they get their core items. Even though they had that great start against the Alchemist, you can't sit on him. I mean, he's already back up to #1 on net worth by a nice little bit, and just a little bit of alone time in the jungle will get him back to where he needs to be. But we can't forget about the opportunity cost of leaving this mid lane open. Scandal now pretty much in free farm heaven. That's his Midas secured. He'll start moving into probably his drums. And looks like that's the only farming tool for now, but even that level 1 Necro book is out for Beastmaster. So I think Empire will be pretty happy just static farming for maybe the next 2, 3, up to 5 minutes. But once that Necro book gets leveled up a little bit, they'll probably start using this Chronosphere and putting some more pressure on when the opportunity feels right.
I mean, it seems like Empire are feeling no pressure here. They know they have the jumps when they want to. They can smoke up, they can roar, they can smoke up, they can chrono. And Vega, they're just constantly reacting to this. When do Vega look to take the offensive? Is it on this here bottom lane, or?
For Vega? Oh man, I don't think they really try to get too aggressive in general. I think they're going to wait for Empire to kind of come to them. They might do this 4+1 style, where they just try to make space for the Alchemist and kind of frontline with the Bristleback, because he is hard to deal with at this stage of the game. Just in general, you've got 3 points in the Bristleback ability, he's got a Vanguard. Even if you catch him in a Chrono, a Primal Roar, he's reasonably difficult to kill. So they can do this kind of play and just make space for the Alchemist, but Empire, no slouches. They're just going to do the same thing. They're going to start to group up in the mid. And they're actually going to split push up top. Beastmaster gets credit for that tower kill. So they've already won the tower race, and you can see they're pushing into the mid. So Empire just still feel kind of a step ahead.
Absolutely. I mean, in terms of overall net worth, the Alchemist now is coming online. Bristleback doing a good job, but the next 3 heroes are not too far behind. All they need is map space. All you got to do is have good rotations in with your Beastmaster and your Void, and so all of a sudden Vega are constantly scared wherever they are on the map.
Dude, this is just a value push for Empire. They traded towers. They do half damage to a tier 2 in the top lane. They even chip at the tier 1 mid, as well as force out another glyph. So it ends up being an even gold exchange, but Empire just kind of asserting their dominance as they do smoke up in the enemy jungle. Looks like this is going to be a rotation towards the Alchemist.
Yeah, they really want to get him down there. That Chemical Rage is going to be expiring, about half duration left, but I don't think they go all the way for this. I think they just
free tower.
Pressure. Absolutely, that tower is going to be going down in the mid. They do have King R there with a swap with the stun combo, or Spirit there to follow up. Now, who's their target? There's going to be that Spirit scouting out a whole bunch of stuff, so Elder Titan getting some eyes on the vision going down. And that's going to be maybe Witch Doctor. Oh, they go through. We got sentries and observers and whatnot, and this range creep will reveal that a sentry's in the area, so they can deward whenever they feel like it.
All right, sentry on sentry action. Nice ward up on the high ground from the Radiant here. Just gives some intel to see whenever this Alchemist is farming. This is around the time for Empire. They've had enough time waiting. They've gotten their core kit up, almost a level 2 Necronomicon. They're ready to hunt this Alchemist anytime he shows his face. Next step will probably be to try to ward up the Ancients. Nice heads up play. Oh, they've already got one up here. Okay, good little spot there. Do they see it? They don't. I think Seema's just hanging there. Wow, that's unfortunate. This is a false sense of security here. They put the ward down. They think that this is completely blind. If you look at Radiant Vision, they know exactly what's going on. This Alchemist could actually be in a little bit of trouble. Miposhka. Uh-oh.
Oh, they're going into the pit there. Miposhka is going to be scouted out. No one looking for the kill, but just beat-bopped back there, saying, get out of my lawn. And that's going to be Miposhka rotating around with King R. Once again, this support duo does have kill potential, but for now, up top, there's going to be where the kill goes down. They drop everything for this. Witch Doctor going to be looking to drop the base, and Seema going to get immediately punished. There's a wild axis coming up with the drag here. They will get the kill on the Beastmaster before Seema goes down. Looks like he will get away, but just barely. It takes a lasso. It takes an Alchemist rotation. But in the end, Beastmaster was just too greedy.
Yeah, I mean, Vega is just getting ripped apart. This is back-to-back kills in the bottom lane. That's the second time he did that. Void used a Chronosphere to lock in the Elder Titan. He killed him with a Sunstrike while that fight was breaking out. Beastmaster almost kills the tier 2 tower in the top lane, and then they get a follow-up with the next Sunstrike on the Witch Doctor. Even though they lose their Beastmaster there and don't finish off the tier 2 tower, I think Empire are completely fine with that trade. They're putting so much pressure around the map, and this Alchemist isn't pulling ahead. Sure, he's 1k net worth up on the Invoker, but that's not very much. Alchemist is very much a snowball hero. In this first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the game, he wants to get the foundation to skyrocket into the mid game. And here, he's like kind of got an armlet and a relic, and like, please, can I just get this damn Radiance? Please, I've been training all my life for this, guys. I need this Radiance. And it's, you know, not a poor timing, but it's not really a great timing either. And Empire are doing a really good job managing this tower farmer.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what Alchemist brings to the table right now, even with his Radiance, he's not going to be able to turn and fight immediately. He's not going to be able to sustain in every team fight, so you got to be very, very cautious where you bring him in, and he's still got, you know, 10, 15 minutes of farming ahead of him before he feels comfortable.
Bottom lane, possibly initiation onto Scandal. No, not quite. Okay. So he's just gone drum BOT. Pretty standard Invoker.
King R goes for the swap there, has the stun to follow up. No one gonna get Sunstrike down. They commit the roar as well. Maybe a little bit of overkill. The Earth Splitter comes out. There's the stomp. Solo coming in, getting the lockdown on the supports, but Miposhka rolling on through will take him down. There's the base drop once again by Seema, but they get the kill on the Elder Titan as well. The Forward Spirit's putting in the hours. Scandal is gonna take that stun. Mag does have that drag, so they may get the consolation prize of the Invoker. And looks like that will be the case. It's a 2 for 2. Now they're looking for more here. They get the stun onto Mag.
Oh,
Mag gets the Firefly. Oh, the Chrono. Solo. Ramsey's looking to make the action happen. Alchemist goes through the kill in the Vengeful Sphere, but it's only support. Can Mag get down? Yeah, Ramses gets the kill. It's going to be a 3 for 3. What a bloody massacre.
Yeah, not really the clean fight that Empire was hoping for. Now, the Chronosphere was just coming up for Ramses. He had a double damage rune on as well, so pretty good time for him to try to pick a fight, but just a little bit out of position in terms of getting things started. Looks like he's not going to go into the Radiant straight away. Yasha coming for Ramses, so have a little more movement speed, just a little bit more damage. Also got a bit unlucky there. The Radiant Spurn also forced out a miss, and he maybe could have killed that Bat Rider a little more quickly. But just like that, Vega right back in this game. That's a completed Radiance for the Alchemist. I mean, just look at the net worth graph. That is the power of the Alchemist. Even just one fight that's a break even. And Vega have actually pulled into the net worth lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very close, and the Alchemist has to really keep that momentum rolling if he wants to stay in this, because again, Void can scale up very nicely. Invoker, I don't even think he's hit his peak yet, not by far. He picks up the drums, but he's got a long way to go before he has that amazing team fight composition.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's more just a matter of, if you don't have a fight like that, then Vega is definitely losing this game, but it's just crazy how I mean, they didn't even win that fight. That was a straight up 3 for 3, right? That was a quote unquote even trade, and that was enough to just get this Alchemist right back on par, now a couple K net worth ahead of the Invoker. And because of that, they're going to move right into the Roche Pit. This is one of the nice parts of the Bristleback, minus armor on the Viscous Nasal Goo. And they should be able to kill the big boy pretty easily here. Minus 7 armor. It looks like Empire not too suspicious. They will smoke up in the mid, but too little too late as Roche is going to fall to the Dire.
That's going to be Bristleback now with 2 lives. He's got the Vanguard, he's got the mech, so a lot of sustainability on that little Armadillo and Ramses. They're smoked up, they're looking for the chrono. 5 more seconds on that. So it seems like they poked their head in the pit, but didn't really have a whole lot of tools if they ran into someone. Yeah,
it's a good point. Having the chrono on cooldown definitely hurts. And okay, Manta style. So Vanguard Manta for Ramses.
Yeah, it's that fighting build. I mean, the Radiance is nice, but it just takes a little bit too long.
Yeah.
You gotta have at least some early game push, some early game, oh god, more life. And, oh, top lane, we got the jump here. Oh, they cannot afford to lose the Alchemist. There's the Sunstrike.
He did.
Yeah, he very did. And that was through Chemical Rage as well. The damage coming out just from that Beastmaster Earth Spirit combo is more than enough. And of course, the global follow-up from the Invoker always helps.
Yeah, it's a great catch. Using the Invoker the way you should. Capitalizing on that global presence. I mean, Alk is still farming okay, but he is not really in fighting shape yet. Radiance, Armlet, not going to save you from that kind of burst damage when they're willing to commit a Primal Roar, now a level 3 Necronomicon. That's pretty serious burst damage coming out your way. We haven't talked about it, but Mag did pick up a Blink Dagger on the bat. He's also level 11, so he's been fairly quiet this game overall, 0, 1, and 3. And he's been involved in 3 of the 4 kills, so I guess in that context, he's been pretty active, but Vega in general just haven't really found too many opportunities to pick up kills. It was really just that one team fight that we saw not too long ago.
Yeah, and again, these kills are going to start spiraling up, I think, as soon as the Radiant have all their ultis on cooldown. They are going to want to go through, they are going to want to continue to rotate, because the later this game goes, Bristleback Alk gets super, super scary.
Yeah, it certainly does. That minus armor synergy is there, and again, if this goes on for another 40 minutes or so, I do think pulling an Aghanims towards the Bristleback is something to just keep note of. It's a really interesting upgrade that turns Bristleback from pretty annoying to really annoying. Just having an AoE slow that he doesn't have to target, that he can just mash that key and spam it out. I haven't really seen it in too many pro games, but I think at least on paper it sounds pretty good. Being able to stack up negative armor like that, it's like a spammable AoE amp damage that builds up over time. It's kind of incredible.
Alright, now this tower heavily under siege there. The Witch Doctor wailing away with those cute little 80 damage right clicks, but they need a creep wave if they really want to get this done, and as the Fortify comes out, they're going to have to back off. But meanwhile, we've got some split push coming out. The Earth Spirit, just making sure this lane stays pushed in for the Radiant. They really don't want to give away any advantage there, and now Alchemist forced to clean up the bottom lane. He's going to go through. He has found himself that Yasha, so he's going to go for a Manta next.
Yeah, pretty standard build coming out of him now. Probably just Manta into Octarine, I would imagine, and just take over the map, use those illusions. It's still funny to remark that after they changed it so the Grieval's Greed doesn't propagate to illusions, people thought that would just take Alchemist out of relevance. It's like, nope, even without that extra bit of broken farming, he still farms like an absolute monster.
Problem is, what does he really add to these fights, and when does he start doing that damage? When does he become that, like, just raid boss, run at you, rip you down? He needs a little bit more. So if you look at what the net worth really contributes to his team fight, it's not a whole lot. Now Afterlife gonna get caught out here. Don't have the follow-up.
Yeah, it was a ambitious attempt there from Vega. It's like a half a second stun. I don't know what the the plan was there. They're going to try to intercept the Ancient, so it's just a double stack for Empire, but still worth it for Vega to try to put pressure on. I feel like Empire have just done such a good job positioning around the map. I mean, Vega are now going to be able to finish off this tier 1 tower, but they delayed this push for a pretty long time just by split pushing the lanes, forcing them to react, and now it's bought a lot of time. Full Manta up on the Faceless Void, now a Blink Dagger on the Beastmaster, and an Aghanims on the Invoker. A lot of really big items now coming online for Empire.
What's their jump point here? Do they have to smoke and look for picks, or do they wait for Vega to come to them?
I think it's the former. I mean, you might not even have to smoke, though that would make it a lot easier. I think now with these new items picked up, you've got an Ether Lens on the Vengeful Spirit. You've got so many ways to initiate now. You know, Void can jump in with a Chrono, Blink Roar, even just a swap into stun. Any of those should secure a kill on pretty much any hero except like maybe Bristleback, because he has those Greaves and has the Vanguard. So yeah, go for a pick, finish off these last tier 2 towers, maybe think about next Roshan, and I think high ground is definitely achievable here for Empire. Probably next Rosh though. I doubt they'll really look to break high ground before then unless they get some kind of a crazy opportunity and good team fight.
So now we've got both teams ignoring each other, just clean line down the map, just no one crosses that no man's territory. As, well, Dire, they're looking to take out this bottom lane, at least apply some pressure, and Radiant, they're focused up top, maybe seeing if there's anyone in the jungle, they're looking for ganks. Their vision isn't perfect, Radiant really only have this one ward sitting here under the shadow of the old tier 2s.
Yeah, they've got another one here in the mid lane, but now that that tower's gone down, not giving them the most intel. They're gonna try to bait with the Invoker, it looks like, but fairly obvious, all things considered. Vega definitely suspicious. Everyone's missing off the map. Void smacking a tower. I wonder where the rest of the team is. They are going to hide in fog. It is nighttime, so a little ambiguous, but Vega will rotate. It's just a free tier 2 tower, and again, Empire with just the more confident movement grants them a free tower. Vega back up instantly before they even really put a lot of pressure on that tier 2 in the bottom.
The threat of Aurora, the threat of that Chrono is just enough to keep Vega back, because I know all they have to do is keep away one key kill on the Alk or the Bristleback, and all of a sudden these high grounds are just messy. You can't crack it.
Just look at that. That's a half damage on a tier 3 tower. Literally nothing happened. It's just straight right clicks. Here we go.
They get the drag here, but the swap back, there we go. Vengeful Spirit making the plays. They will get the Chrono, the top, the meatball mag, chunked down by the axes in the backlands here. We got everyone going down there. Will be the Magnetize popped out. Steam of the Slayer looks like he's going to be slayed. Now Ramses, he's going to get kind of low here. Still wants to fight. They will get the kill on the Bristleback. Invoker putting in the plays. Now Scandal, he's looking for more here. He's still got health. He's still got mana. And this is going to be Bristleback in the grave again. They do have buyback at the ready if they need it, both the bat and the Bristleback. But what do you really bring to the fight if you buy back on the bat? You've got no lasso. All you can do is spray out the napalm and get back.
Yeah, it looked like for a second there, Bristleback might be able to do it. He did 2,300 damage in that fight, Invoker doing 2,900, just for a frame of reference. That's how much he can put out with those quills. But you saw nobody was really that close to death. There were a couple heroes in, yellow HP, a couple in red territory, but Empire just had a beautiful setup. That's one of those fights where Chrono on 3 heroes sets up for the Earth Splitter. It hit at least 2, if not 3. You called that swap immediately. I mean, that's like the dream against a Bat Rider. He was lassoed for, what, half a second before the Venge was able to swap him out. I mean, King R was just completely on point. And Empire knew how that fight was going to go, and they orchestrated it to be completely in their favor.
Absolutely. Now we do have Solo sitting back, has picked up a couple of neat items here. It's going to be sitting on that Force Staff to make sure you can go in and keep everyone at bay. Now, is that going to be used defensively, offensively?
Well, either or. Depends on the situation, I suppose. With a Bat Rider on your team, it does definitely open up some possibilities to help your buddy if he gets stuck in a sticky situation. But I think more of a defensive tool here to help people that get caught by, a Venge swap or something like that. There was another big item picked up here. It's the Diffusal on Faceless Void. Not done quite yet, but just about there.
Yeah, that's going to be huge now. Just the raw mana burn alone is going to do a lot of work, but then the purge ability is just fantastic here.
Up top.
Making sure you're always at your fighting fit. Up top, yeah, we are going to have that kick coming on through. The Magnetize out. It looks like Witch Doctor casting out the coconut with his last breath, but his corpse just crumbles. Yeah. And that's Napochka sitting there, I mean, completely unafraid. This is a Earth Spirit, 25 minutes in the game, that's able to go through into the enemy's safe lane and solo off supports.
Well, he had help with the Sunstrike. That was the big core of the damage, but nice cheeky setup from Napochka, just kind of hiding in the tree line, rolled over, and that Witch Doctor was definitely not ready for it.
They go for this again? Invoker's got the Sunstrike.
Maybe. Who's going to catch who here, though? Mag's got some friends nearby. Napochka getting low, trying to roll away, but the stun's there, and it's just going to be a freebie back the other way. Okay, well.
And just overstaying your welcome there.
Noble effort. Down bottom.
Test those boundaries. Now, oh yeah, over here we got the TP out. Looks like, okay, Scandal with the Boots of Travels coming on through. That Elder Titan just absolutely falling down. All it took was a couple hits from the Invoker to get the job done.
Yeah, nice setup from the Beastmaster. I mean, I don't know if there is an item, maybe Hurricane Pike on Enchantress. You could say it feels like that was almost just designed for what she does, but Necronomicon on Beastmaster is just unfathomably good. The amount of extra damage that you get on the Necro units from the Inner Beast is incredible. You get the utility from the Mana Burn. You have a guaranteed long duration stun where they can't run away from you, and your Necro units are just going chop, 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 chop. I mean, we're 25 minutes into the game. We're sort of past the obvious window where Beastmaster is really strong. And you saw how easy it was for them to find that kill on Elder Titan.
And now the Beastmaster Roar will be back up in about 20 seconds, and they could look for another kill on the back of that. I think Empire really has to keep up their momentum. They can't really just get too comfortable here, because again, Vega, they're down, but they're certainly not out in terms of overall net worth. It's sub 1,000 lead for Empire. I mean, XP, a little bit different here. The levels are still better for the Radiant, but nothing that can't be caught up on very quickly.
Yeah, you're definitely right. They are, I would say, almost playing this a little bit too passive. They're finding these little pickoffs here and there, but I think anytime you have all of your ultimates available as
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Innocent of whose power spike is when, and I don't think we've really seen the dire shine just yet.
Dota Radio here. FN caught in the chrono, just barely survives through it. Earth Splitter, not enough. Oh my, Vega. They might actually take a good fight here. They kill the Invoker first, and now King R.
He's gonna get low, but he's still fighting. He will still get up. Nice magnetize there from the Earth Spirit, putting in a lot of work, but it looks like he's gonna be surrounded on by 4 heroes that are still very much up. Gem is on the deck. Miposhka trying to juke away with his life, but will end up going down. The kill was split courtesy of the tower shot. Now they're looking for the void here. Ramses, he wants to go back in. Nice time dilation. He gets the pass with the solo. Force staff back. Now the goo coming out. Looks like he's gonna leap down to the Roche pit to finally the unstable concoction comes in. Can they get the wraparound? They have the Beastmaster at the ready, but no roar. He's gonna blink back up to the high ground. The leap from the void will be there. So that's the end of the fight, but in the end, Empire, they're going to be 3 heroes down, only taking out the bat.
Yeah, obviously that DC there, not at the opportune time. We missed the beginning of that fight. Not sure exactly how it started, who was like really the aggressor, but it seemed like it was Empire that wanted to make it happen. They dropped the Chrono Spear. When I loaded back in, the Chrono was just expiring. They almost killed the Alchemist, who was like 1 or 2 right clicks away from certain demise, but he was able to regen through it, and well, now with Roche 2 under the belt of Vega, all of a sudden this game looks a little bit better for them. They're finally starting to pull ahead. Net worth lead is pretty insignificant, 3K gold here or there, not a huge deal, but you look at that general net worth chart, and this is where Alk is pretty capped out, and we're going to see Aghanim start getting pulled pretty soon. Big damage increases there as well.
Yeah, he's got what he needs, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it prioritized on the Witch Doctor again, just because he can't farm diddly for himself. He's so poor here. His overall total net worth thus far in the game is less than a nag, so it would take him like double this amount of time to be able to get it for himself. So hopefully Alk is able to prioritize that. But again, Bristleback, that's going to be neat. Batrider, not exactly necessary for team fights, but it's a cheeky update there. You get 2 for the price of 1.
It's good. It also increases damage. I don't think the Lasso does any damage normally, and it does 100 DPS when your Scepter upgraded. So it helps. That extra damage definitely does add up. If you think about having 2 Lasso targets, then kind of compounds a little bit. So we'll see. We didn't miss any Aghanim's pools, did we? Nope, doesn't look like it.
Nope, everyone's still sitting fresh, and Alchemist, he's also sitting on about 1600 gold, so maybe that comes out next. He could go for another selfish item if he wants to go through and take out the armlet, upgrade for something else, but for now, just gonna be content there. Gets a full tower to himself, and that's another 1,000 gold that he's sitting on. He just gets so much out of these pushes.
Yeah, and speaking of fresh, it is a 10-second BKB up on the level 16 Bristleback. So he's got a big core item of his own. Now, what's next for Empire? We saw the Diffusal Blade picked up by the Void. 3K gold. I wonder where he does move from here. If it's just straight up right-click damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it could actually be a late Radiance, like you were talking about the Vanguard Radiance popular build courtesy of Waga, but it's very late here, 30 minutes in. He could go for...
I think he might just go crit. I think just straight dataless at this point.
He could go crit, he could also go survivability if he wanted to go for something like an Assault Cuirass. It would help him hit a little faster on a chrono, but again, the high ground siege is super, super important here, because you were talking about in draft how Vega, they've got incredible high ground sustain. You're not going to be able to push into them very easily.
Yeah, I think at this point for Empire, their ticket to win is going to be winning a fight and then just going high ground. They're not really going to be able to just siege it from afar in a 5v5 type scenario. And I think survivability isn't Ramsey's problem right now. It's just straight damage. The last fight that we caught the tail end of, they didn't have the damage to kill the Alchemist. So to me that says, all right, that's fine. We went for some utility items. Now we need to invest in these big hard-hitting items. So Scandal's gone for the Lincoln Sphere. so they can keep somebody somewhat safe at least. Although against Bristleback, that is a pretty darn easy Lincolns to break. 1.5 second cooldown on Viscous Nasal Goo, not a huge commitment.
Certainly not. Now Alk, he's picked himself up something here on the carry. It looks like he's flying in a full BKB.
Yeah. And a free couple towers here. Looks like only one outer tower remains, just that tier 2 mid for Empire. Alright, BKB for the Faceless Void. Alright.
He wants to fight. He wants to stay alive through this. He wants to be able to jump in and not really fear for his life.
Yeah, but what does it actually stop here? I guess the stun from Witch Doctor. His ult's still going to go through it. Elder Titan, okay, can't put him to sleep. Bristleback's all physical. Alk is mostly physical, except for his stun. Well, it's physical, but doesn't go through BKB. And even the lasso goes through BKB. So I see why the Void wants it. You're absolutely right. He just wants to be able to pick a target, pop the BKB, and just stick on that target while he's immune to matching and not have to worry about anything. But definitely not the dream of a BKB game this go around.
And down bottom, we do have the Alchemist spraying out what he's got here. He's sitting very comfortably on the top of the net worth chart. And now again with that Radiance Online, he pushes so quickly. Can the Invoker stop this, or do they just have to let him go through and completely push out this lane to the tier 3s?
Yeah, interesting ward placement here. I just pinged on the high ground. The anti-Tinker ward coming out from Vega. Interesting. This is turning into sort of an odd stalemate. I think soon we're going to get to that point where Vega are going to be the ones that will sort of become the aggressors, because Alk is just at that critical mass point.
Yeah, we're talking about the power spikes, and you know, even though Void's not a whole lot of right-click damage, just the support combo of Venge and Earth Spirit, combine that with Beastmaster Primal Roar, you do have a ton of lockdown. I'm very surprised Empire didn't really go through and capitalize on that a lot in the early game. I mean, they had a pretty sizable lead for themselves, but they just kind of let it trickle off there.
Yeah, it's hard against the Alchemist. And the scary part is, you know, there was that window where I was saying, well, they're giving this Alk a lot of space. Maybe they should be the ones to pick a fight. If you win those fights, it's obviously great. You just go right up the high ground, the Alk is hurting. But if you lose those fights, the Alk is basically completely recovered, and now you're on the back foot. And you never really want to be playing from behind against an Alchemist. It is very difficult and definitely not fun. He did just buy his first Aghanim Scepter, and has not fed it to anyone yet that I've seen.
Invisibility.
What are we doing here, Alk?
I'm clicking around. He's going to be flying it in. Courier is going to be on cooldown for a minute, so probably...
Oh, Courier's still dead. Okay, so we're going to have to wait. Alright. Oh, no, he gave it to the Bristleback. Okay, there it is. Interesting. So of all the heroes to prioritize most, they give it to the Bristle. For the layman's out there that aren't privy to this upgrade, it just makes Viscous Nasal Goo just a straight-up spell, just like Quill Spray. You don't have to target it anymore.
Just walk into a fight, hit Q, and it snots at all the targets in the area.
So it's pretty good. Minus 2.2 armor per snot on everybody that it hits, and it's a 700 radius. If you mouse over it, it's pretty darn big.
Now Smoke here is going to come through. They try to get vision with the Spirit, and now it seems like Vega, they think they're safe. They're going to go in with the Chrono. It connects on the 2. There's going to be the follow-up. Solo will be the first to fall. They get the kill. Now they're looking for Zima. They will go in. They get the silence backline. They're going to be popping out that Primal Roar. They're looking for something more on the backline. We got BKBs abundant. Scandal is going to be in some trouble there. Swap back. King R gives his last. Make sure the Invokers are alright. Now Mad clapping on through. Wants to find that lasso. Will not be successful. Alchemist, he's running and he's channeling up the Unstable Concoction. We'll get it onto Afterlife. Ripping him apart there. He can't react. He's going to go down on the back lines of the river. We've still got more action. Ramsey's getting dragged back. That Void can't do a whole lot. He's got that time lock. He's braced with the time dilation. He's on the aggressive there. First hit bash onto Mag. There will be a stun coming out. Ramsey's now fighting for his life again. He does have that walk up in 1 second. Will leap up to the high ground. Still wants more. Scandal trying to make the space here, making the plays in the back lines. There was more bashes out from Ramses, who goes in for the Manta. I don't think he can go onto the Alchemist anymore, but it will be TPing back home. Meanwhile, the Invoker, who lived through that entire fight, will go right into the top lane and start pushing. So 3 for 2 overall, no buybacks forced, but definitely favoring Empire.
Yeah, just barely though. I mean, they get the net worth gain out of it. That's cute, but oh, they might lose Maposhka here. He kicks him back. He's going to try to TP home, and Alk's just going to let it go. All right, no concoction up for another few seconds. A really chaotic fight though, and for Empire, didn't really choreograph that so well. It was an okay setup from the Void to get it started. Ramses kills the 2 easy targets, but after that, it was just this giant scatter where the Alk kind of slowly picked people off. It's pretty obvious where Empire have their advantage. When they have their ultimates up, when they're in the Chronosphere, that's when they can make it happen. They didn't even get to use the Primal Roar that fight, which definitely hurts. I think they just need to try to use their team fight advantage and actually initiate as a team instead of taking that spread out fight, because the Alk is just going to be able to feed on their backline. If the Alk gets up in the face of the Invoker, Scandal's not going to be having a fun time.
Alk now almost done with that second Aghanim Scepter here. I would be very surprised if it goes on anyone other than the Witch Doctor, but you know, maybe the Titan prioritize. They want to get those nice disarms going in.
I think it's got to be the Witch Doctor at this point. It's a tough game for him. He hasn't really been able to channel too many ultimates. It looks like he'll have a BKB of his own coming with that Ogre Club. So, yeah, we'll see what he can do. But yeah, this Void's been pretty lucky. I think in that fight, Ramsey's got a first hit bash on the Witch Doctor, and he got another one further along in the fight. Which will happen from time to time, but it's always something when a Witch Doctor is just channeling his ult like that, and you turn, just bash him once. It's like, well, okay, GG. Well done.
Looking at that overall net worth chart, I mean, now just holding steady for Vega. They're not getting any more acceleration in their favor, but still holding tight to 5,000 gold. But, I mean, at this point in the game, that's, you know, a couple kill bounties or a couple minutes of push. It's not absolutely significant. The XP still holding in favor of Empire. They still got good levels going for themselves, making good use of the map.
Yep. Aghanim Scepter number 2 on the Witch Doctor. So 2 out of 4 upgraded. I think next priority is definitely the Bat Rider, and then last but not least, Mr. Elder Titan.
Meanwhile, with all that's going down, the Roshan will be falling to Empire. This is Rosh number 3, so Aegis and Cheese now picked up as Ramses. He's taking that cheese. He's got basically 2 lives.
I don't really see any reason why Vega couldn't have contested that, other than they just weren't quite ready to do so. It was just Empire keen on the timing, just walked right into the pit and made it happen. Really all there is to it. You look at Dire Vision, and only really one ward out on the map, and it is kind of in that Roche area, but not close enough to reveal the cheekiness of moving into the pit and getting Roche number 3.
Now Vega gonna feel a little bit sour from that. Maybe they just try to wait out the Aegis, because again, an Alchemist, a Bristleback, they do continue to scale up well into the late game, so all you gotta do is make sure the Invoker can push, and the high ground defense is super on point. Can Empire look to pressure this full throttle, or do they have to play very cautiously still?
I think they absolutely need a pick-off. I think the straight-up 5v5 fights are still pretty scary, even with Aegis Cheese. It's all about the chrono. Honestly, right now there's so much pressure on Ramses to get a good chrono off where he can isolate somebody, secure some kills, and also just not allow Vega to run around the backline. Oh, we're going to see Vega smoke up, but I mean, the dream for the Void is to catch a chrono where he can isolate 2 in the chrono, and then it separates them from the rest of the team, where the rest of Vega have to choose, do we run into the chrono, or do we just stand by and wait? And in that case, they can just kill 2, they can make it a 4v5 or a 3v5, and then take the fight from there. The last fight we saw, he got a chrono on 2 heroes, but he didn't really isolate anybody, so the heroes that weren't in the chrono just said, alright Void, you deal with them, we're gonna go kill all your friends. And that's basically what happened.
Going through. We'll get the reaction time to chrono if he wants, but onto no one. I mean, that's a dangerous chrono in its own right now. No one turning things here. Again, he is pretty tanky.
Still a free tower. I think they'll take that.
Absolutely, and I mean, they're looking for more here. Everyone on Empire does have their ultis up at the ready. They're kind of fake back, and they're not really giving up here.
Yeah, Empire rightfully nervous to just charge up the high ground. Now that the tower's not there, it makes this a little bit easier. But still need to be very cautious. Definitely respecting the power of Vega right now. And recognizing that if they lose this fight, Vega can just BOT down to that bottom lane and go right for their high ground.
So again, huge group up. Nice stomp there from the Titan, but not going to do enough, just sleeping out the Force Spirits.
Slow and steady.
Does that win the race? I mean, we're talking all game about how Empire, they had such a lead and just never really pushed the envelope. They didn't really try to test their limits and see what they could go for, and it's just been very cautious play from them, and perhaps a bit too much restraint.
It is hard though. I mean, they can't just charge up the high ground. That is a one-way tick, or a surefire way to take a bad fight. We'll see Alchemist now move into MKB, so he's starting to transition into more damage-focused items. He's ditched the armlet now, and he is pretty darn capped out. He could still pick up a Moon Shard. We'll see what he prioritizes. Looks like he doesn't really have too much emphasis on the Ags upgrade for Bat Rider or Elder Titan. So, yeah, Moon Shard could be his next item.
Yeah, he's sitting back. He's getting that farm. He's going to be flopping around with the Bat Rider. And Bat Rider now, we talked about that BKB, still hasn't been used. So he's still got that 10-second charge at the ready, and that's going to be a nice big pick when he can go for it.
Yeah, that's interesting. He's been able to hang on to that for so long. Even the Invoker now up to a lot of gold. He's picked up the Octarine core. I don't know, what do you get from here? I mean, it's just like refresher territory for Scandal?
I mean, maybe so. He's sitting on a huge chunk of pennies on top of his buyback, 3,200 gold. He could go for something like a Hex if they really wanted to get the lockdown on Bristleback or Alchemist.
This could end up being a pretty long game here, honestly. Both teams are in that kind of defensive mindset where they both feel like they could win a fight if they get the proper initiation, but neither side really too good at breaking high ground or taking objectives. So they're sort of both waiting for the other side to make a mistake that they can capitalize on. And when both teams are doing that, it just creates this kind of passive farming style. There is an invisible Beastmaster, though. This could be an opportunity.
Well, we've got 2 gems on deck. There's a shout here. No one. Looks like he may get picked off here. Sunstrike coming out, but just not doing enough damage. They're bringing the missile. They're bringing in everything, but he's just so survivable. They're turning things to the back lines. There will be an Earth Splitter coming out. Scandal in some trouble, melting down. Will he get away here? He pops into the Ghost Walk. Nice chrono. But do they have the damage here? Ramsey's just burning down. The acid spray is what gets him in the end. Now King R, he's clapping down low. Mag had to expend the lasso, but now blinking back in will get the kill onto the Vengeful Spirit. This is looking pretty bad for Empire. They've got no buyback on the Venge. They do have buyback on the Void if they need to, but for now, Vega feeling very, very confident. They lost no one for that.
Yeah, that is pretty disastrous for Team Empire, needless to say. Really weird initiation for the Void. He seemed to be in a good spot. It was a great lasso from the Batrider to catch him before he could chrono. And then a follow-up great swap from the Venge to keep the Void alive, but unfortunately he got a little too overzealous after that and died to acid spray. Like you said, literally just running and got tripped up in the poison. Very sad way for the Void to die.
Like, he was just panicking. You know, you could feel him going down. He's like, oh crap, I made a mistake. But there's nothing you can do at that point.
Yeah, when you're committed to it. Buyback has come out of the Faceless Void. They've also used the Glyph, and now Vega just go right back up towards the high ground. Chemical Rage on. FN gonna be happy to tank it. Batrider goes charging on in. He gets stunned up to counter it, though. And they should be able to grab a kill on Mag? No, maybe not.
He's getting low. That's a dieback on the Void. Now Scandal could be going down as well. No one's still going through. Spraying out that snot like it's allergy season and gonna be going back on through. They want to get down this tower. They will get the swap here. King R is gonna go through. They get the stun combo. The Sunstrike comes through as well, but he's just so freaking tanky. They can't get him down. They go through with the stomp. This could be it as King R is sitting there just stunned up. Ghost Scepter ends, and it looks like they want to continue to go here for more. No one now will get stuck in place. The Cold Snap doing some work there. The Invoker will finally get the kill onto the Bristleback for almost 800 gold and looking for more. Nice Deafening Blast, but FN still feeling nice and tanky. Octarine and the ultimate means he's full health, smacking out these racks like there's no tomorrow.
Well, Refresher now up for the Beastmaster. A great siege here for Vega. See if they get punished on the way out. Scandal connects with a tornado, but no follow-up. And Vega just make it out of the base, head back to friendly territory. All right, just like that, they are in control of this game. It was also weird that Empire started off that fight in the mid by attacking the Bristleback. And, you know, it's one thing if you can isolate the Bristleback in a scenario where you have the numbers advantage, kind of like they did, but the key is doing damage to his front side. And where they stunned him, he was facing towards the base when he got hit by the Primal Roar. So all of that damage they did to him hit him in the back. I mean, they weren't even close to killing him. And peculiar that's of all the heroes to focus, that was the one that they would try to go for.
Alk buys an Ags, also a Moon Shard, so he's feeling nice and rich now. He plops it onto the Batrider, so we will have that double lasso, and like you mentioned, it also adds some damage component to that. So they are certainly not lacking in sustain, not lacking in control. We'll see if Empire are just going to go and crumble into the abyss, or if they still got some life in them.
Yeah, we'll see if old Batrider can get the choo-choo train going and pick up a couple of stragglers at the next stop. You really don't get to see the Aghanim Scepter Batrider too often, so I'm high hopes that he'll be able to at least get one double lasso.
I mean, Alk is pretty huge at this point, sitting at almost 4k, or rather 40,000 net worth, and he's eating up that Moon Shard. Again, has bought Aghanims for all his buddies. So
for the mechanic with lasso, I guess I'm the one that's supposed to know this, but it just says closest allied target within 400 range. I thought the mechanic was kind of more of a refraction type deal where you sort of had to shackle them almost, you know, like it needed to be lined up. The way it's written kind of implies that you just need to be around the Batrider and it'll just grab anybody.
It goes through like an actual lasso. Think about it. You just like whip a rope onto someone and it...
No, right. I was thinking it was more coned, you know, like...
No, it's like if you have someone right next to you at like a weird right angle, it'll catch them rather than the person behind you.
So even if there's somebody like in front of you, it'll still grab onto... Okay, that makes it even easier to use then. So you can just jump in anytime the enemies are kind of grouped up and you're getting somebody.
Yeah, it's
pretty
a
darn good.
parade.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it may sound nitpicky, but those little tiny mechanics make a big difference. We were just talking about this at ESL Frankfurt, like the Drow Ranger Aghanims, how it splits, and the difference in that mechanic of how that varies from like Medusa, where the split shot comes from her source, whereas the Drow Ranger one hits the target and then breaks out afterwards. So the positioning of the target you're hitting is really crucial in terms of maximizing the damage.
Now high ground defense here coming out from the Invoker, popping out that EMP wall, but no one having trouble dealing with that. I mean, Alec, it takes him a while to crawl through. There will be a tornado holding him in place, but for now, just sieging this tower like it's nothing.
This is a huge opportunity window for Vega. The Beastmaster's nowhere to be found. He's trying to solo Roche right now. They actually have a 5v4. They get the double lasso, but a great counter stun. Oh god.
The Chrono connecting up to the Earth Splitter on top of that, though. Ramsey's taking a full duration ulti. The Death Ward! It's just channeled up. Man, this Witch Doctor just dancing, having the time of his life. Now Scandal is going to go through getting zip-zapped all around the map, has to go into the Ghost Walk to walk back safely. So far, Vega are all alive. Empire haven't dropped anyone, but the tier 3 goes down and Ramsey's just left to clean up the mess.
It was a big victory for Vega. Nobody dies on either side, but Vega did a lot more damage. I wish we had a teamfight recap just to see how much damage was done by the Witch Doctor. A lot of impressive skill shots used there in general. It was a great lasso with a great chrono with some good roars. We'll see if they can do it again. The Refresher's been used by the Beastmaster though, so he's not going to have that double roar.
They're all in here. They really want the Alchemist. Refresher coming back out. Scandal looking to unload that damage. Now Ramses, he's sitting back. No chrono for him. Has that Diffusal Blade if he really wants to go through and get that slow. But for now, no one just sitting back with that slow siege. There's the swap. There's the stun. No one actually in some trouble. Can they do it? No. Oh. He force taps down to the low ground. He's completely fine. He's so hard to get a hold of.
Vega definitely feeling good. They've cleared out the melee barracks in the mid lane, so even just getting the ranged barracks here is a victory. They're teetering on the brink of securing a win over Empire, which I think some people would definitely label an upset at this stage in the tournament. Glyph comes out, and this could be the last Glyph of the game for Empire. Say goodnight to their ranged barracks. Melee, soon to be rubble. This could be the final hold.
They got the Primal Roar coming in. They also have the Sunstrike there. Can Ramses do it here? He's got the Chrono in 10. Can they buy enough time? Scandal zipping in. He wants more. The racks will fall. That's one lane of creeps coming in. And that's going to be a bad rider drag. They get two there, and now, oh, it's just looking terrible. They swap back to the Vengeful Spirit. We'll buy some time, but is it enough? Another fantastic ulti from the Witch Doctor, just doing so much work.
Wow, Maposhi even got off his BKB, but it just didn't matter from all that physical damage. Chronosphere comes out, it leaves something to be desired as FN just goes right in onto the Void, hits him with a stun as he tries to make the retreat, and now Void is in the grave, no buyback, down for at least 50 seconds, but he's not going to have the gold anyhow. They're going to head straight down bottom, and it looks like Vega is just about to secure a win here.
Yeah, the nail in the coffin here. I don't think there's any way Empire live up against Mega Creep. They just don't have the lineup for it.
No, definitely not. I mean, a couple of Mjolnirs, they could probably hold it off, but this game is feeling pretty over. No one taking some pretty decent damage here, but there's only one structure standing, and it is soon to be destroyed. 200 hit points until Mega Creeps come onto the field.
Well, we got the swap back here. No one's popping into that BKB, just wants to turn this aggressively. There's Mega Creeps coming out, and now King R is going to go through. That's going to be a Ghost Scepter popped out, but not even going to save your life. 1 hit, 2 hit will be the kill. Wicked Stick Trick. Now there's the lasso back. It looks like this full wipe will secure the GG. Called out Vega Squadron. They will take a game off of Empire here.
Wow, I can't believe that game was only 17 to 18, 50 minutes. It felt much more action-packed than that.
Absolutely, man. That was definitely intense.
Great execution from Vega in general. After that start and those back-to-back kills on the Alchemist, there was a moment there where it looked like Empire might just be able to run away with it, but in the mid-game, suffice it to say, they hesitated at least a little bit. You always have to choose your battles against the Alch very carefully, but it seemed like Empire just gave Vega a little too much space to farm it on back, and they absolutely did it. I mean, we talked about how that